Alright, Becky on Luke here. And as you can see from the title here, this is a video about eBay. Now I know there's been a few videos that I've made so far recently that have been talking about eBay, but unfortunately I think this video needs to be made in order to kind of bring people into light as far as what's happening, the way eBay works, or at least the way that eBay's global shipping partnership works. If those of you who have seen some of my last videos about a couple of arcade boards that I had ordered, wound up coming in shipping like this. This was the first one that came shipped, and like I said, it is bent in half. And then the second one came almost identical, crushed, as you can see here, like so. There were several emails that I had written to not only eBay but also to the sellers complaining about the way that these boards were shipped and how the shipping packaging was just really unbelievably horrible, and how I was receiving no real answers from eBay or from the sellers themselves. In fact, in a lot of cases, in both cases, the sellers had both said, "I did not package your board, eBay packaged it." And on both occasions, I thought to myself, that's impossible. That is ridiculous. That is the craziest thing that I've ever heard. It's like saying, I sent out a package to you, but the post office stole everything out of it, and then shipped it to you. You would normally think like that is an impossible thing to happen. But interestingly enough, I have been fighting like this last case here. The first case went on for quite some time, and it was the seller fighting, tooth and nail back, saying this is not my fault, this is, eBay's fault, and, take it up with eBay. I contacted eBay many times, and eBay said, oh no, it's the seller's fault. The seller assumes responsibility from the time it's sold to the time that it arrives at the destination. So finally, eBay settled up and decided to pay me for the first board. And they just said like, oh, this is a charity type payment or something like that. It was a gift payment, something to that extent. It was just something that didn't say that we thought that you were right. It says basically, oh, well, you seem like a nice person, so we're going to give it to you type of payment. And it kind of frustrated me a little bit, but then I thought, okay, well fine, it's done and over with. I don't have to deal with this again. The second box that I had received, the second package, I had told the seller about the previous experience and how I didn't want that to happen again. And the seller had told me, look, I'm really a person who overpackages things, and sometimes I do it too much, and when the person receives their goods, they think, wow, this seller went way above and beyond. So I felt like, okay, this is really nice, this is really comforting. So I sent the payment, and I got the package, and you guys saw the video where the package was crushed. Contact the seller. The seller said, once again, the same as the first seller, I did not package it that way. eBay must have done it. And once again, I just said, this is ridiculous, because both packages came exactly the same way. They were both crushed with a Stat 37 on them. They were both used. They both used just little bits of newspaper and a small bit of wrapping paper, bubble wrap. They were both crushed in the same exact way, and they both came from the same shipping company. And I thought, this is either A, the same person in two different areas trying to, mess people over, because in Yahoo auctions in Japan, there are sellers that do that. They open multiple accounts so that they can spread out large amounts of equipment, especially with the arcade sellers. They have multiple names. There's at least 3 names that I can think of, 4 names that are all part of the same seller, and each seller lists about 2,000 to 3,000 boards at a time. So when you go on to check a board or something like that, you'll find an auction that has a listing of 10,000 or 9,000 boards. And it's all the same company, but they've opened up multiple accounts. So I thought to myself, this is probably no different than that. It's got to be the same seller, maybe opening up multiple things and just lying about, where this thing is getting shipped to and all this good stuff. And looking at the shipping, we'll get into the shipping here. The global partner shipping company is PBI, which is Pitney and Bowes Incorporated. And I bought the first board from California, and the first board went from California to or was it Ohio to Tennessee to Kentucky and then to Japan. The second board I bought was from Georgia. That one, when I looked at the shipping, it went from Georgia to Indiana, went from Indiana to Ohio, Ohio to Tennessee, Tennessee to Kentucky, then back to Tennessee again, and then from Tennessee it went to Tokyo. So it was even stranger, and I'm looking at this going, why is this going all over the place? You know, why is this board being shipped like back and forth to different states and back and forth to some of the same states? It just did not make any sense. And then, you know, it arrives, like I said, with the same condition as the other board. So I made complaints. I made a complaint with eBay. I made a complaint with both the sellers. And, you know, like I said, it's just been a drawn-out process. Up until 2 days ago, I received another message. I'm still, you know, working on this one board here. I received a message from eBay saying that, you know, your case is still open. What would you like to do? I replied saying I haven't heard from the seller in 5 days, or 4 or 5 days, and I would like to escalate this case. And I sent that in, and just, when was it? This morning or last night, I received something from eBay saying your case was closed. And I clicked on it because I was kind of shocked. Why was my case closed? And it says that you returned the board to the seller without the permission of eBay. And you provided a tracking number without the permission of eBay. And I thought to myself, what? I didn't send anything back. So I went and I clicked on it, and sure enough, that's exactly what it had said. It said that I had sent the board back, and I thought, this is ridiculous. So I emailed eBay, and eBay said, oh, no, according to our records, it says you shipped it back. You even provided a number. I said, show me the number. Where is the number? The thing about eBay is the first time that I had issues, the customer service was really good. Support was always like, oh, I understand what you're going through. I understand your feelings. I understand your problems. We're here to help. And here are the things that you need to do. Second time, now that I'm going through this with eBay, I'm dealing with a different customer service representative every time. Each time I go to click on something, I get a response back from a different seller, or a different customer service representative, just saying like, oh, hello, my name is Sean J. Oh, hello, my name is Mary M. You know, and it just keeps going on and on and on. I've had 6, I think, customer service representatives, 5 or 6 customer service representatives since this whole thing has started. And each one is just saying the same thing. Okay, these are the steps you need to do. Well, interestingly enough, I don't know if this is just for me or if this is just for everybody who uses eBay, but when it says to contact eBay, there's a little button on it. And I try to contact eBay because if not, it says, you know, work it out, and it has you playing catchball with the seller. And eBay's not even a part of it. It's just you send a message to the seller, seller sends it back. You send it to seller, seller sends it back. You click on the contact eBay button, or at least I have, and it says like report a problem or whatever. And you click on report a problem, and then package not received or package not received as described. You click on that, and it keeps sending you back to the seller. So it says, you know, work it out with the seller. And you click on another one saying like eBay member fraud or something like that. And you have to click on some of these really obscure ones like what was it? Like violation of privacy or violation of policy, something like that. And then finally you'll get presented with a little icon that says contact eBay by email. And you can click on it and then you can send them a note. Well, unfortunately, they've been closing those buttons down, so you can't contact them. So you're just playing tag between you and the seller. And I had to click on something really strange. I had to click on something that was like report vehicle theft or something just to even get a message through to eBay. Because once they close your account or they close the case, you can't contact them again. You're just contacting back and forth with the seller, and it says like, oh, this case is closed. So I sent eBay a message just yesterday, you know, saying, what is up with this? Why is this happening? I did not close a case. And I was not so pleasantly surprised with a message here from eBay, which is really shocking, and I think this will kind of maybe, I don't know, surprise some of you guys who do selling on eBay. This is basically about the global partnership or global shipping program. So for those people who are using the US eBay site and you're shipping from the US overseas, and for those of you who are buying from overseas and going through the US eBay site, if the seller is shipping the goods through PBI, which is Pitney Bowes Incorporated, you guys are probably in for some trouble. Here's the latest one. This is my 6th message here. And it starts off, "Hello Luke, I know you are upset, and understandably so. I know you feel this case has been decided incorrectly, and you have been corresponding with us for quite some time over this case. I can see that you received a damaged product. That can be the most disheartening thing to happen. You have pieced together that it is happening when your item is shipped with PBI, which is our global shipping program partner." This is the part where it starts to get kind of like, huh. And this one says, "So, when a seller decides to ship internationally, they are given the option to opt into the global shipping program. They pay for domestic shipping within the United States, and they have to send the item to Kentucky. From there, Pitney and Bowes send the item to the proper country." Here's the key point. They do repackage and they do inspections on the packages to make sure all is well. What this means for those of you out there who are using PBI, no matter how well you are shipping your package, no matter how much padding you are putting in it, this company is kind of taking on the responsibility or the role of what customs does. They're reopening your package, taking out all of the padding and checking the product to make sure everything is okay, then they're putting it back in. This one says, "Which would explain why 2 of your items came with identical packaging, but the sellers were from opposite ends of the United States. Both selected to ship with the global shipping program. My best suggestion is, if you are not having luck with receiving packages in great shape, is to find listings that do not offer and actually ship directly to your country themselves, and see if that offers better luck." Now, if that wouldn't be an email that would just set you off, nothing else would. What this email just says is, if, you know, we think about the beginning of the video here where the 2 sellers had actually said that they were not responsible. It wasn't them who packaged the boards. It was eBay. And where I thought, this is ridiculous, this customer service representative has just confirmed that Pitney Bowes Incorporated not only opens your package that you send, they remove it, they inspect it to make sure everything's fine, then they repackage it the way they want and they send it out. Now, on top of that, I had received an email where somebody had said, "Luke, do you think that this could be a possibility? There might be somebody who's, you know, racist against Japan." Well, I would honestly say, you know, I'm not the kind of person to just jump to conclusions or anything, but when we take a look at package A here, this was shipped by Pitney Bowes, and all of the packaging on the inside, like I said before, was newspaper and a piece of padding, you know, a little bit of padding. It was nothing like the sellers had said. You have this package here, and you have this package as well, which, you know, both look like they've been kicked across the floor, just drop kicked, both of them. They're both coming from Kentucky. Not to say that I have anything against Kentucky, but coming from the lower states, coming over to Japan, there is a pretty good possibility that somebody out there who is responsible for doing this shipping, yeah, might have something against shipping out here to Japan. There's a lot of different issues going on right now, especially in the business scene, you know, with TPP, with the whole trade agreement between Japan and the United States, with, you know, Japan not wanting to concede very easily and the US getting upset because they want to sell products in Japan, but they don't want to take products in from Japan. They just want to sell to Japan and just reap all the benefits. There's things like that going on. There's the dollar fluctuation between the dollar and the yen. The yen's getting stronger, the dollar's getting cheaper. Influence of, you know, all sorts of stuff. Cheap goods coming over to the US, people not buying, you know, American anymore. I might be taking this out of proportion. You know, I might be kind of blowing this out of proportion, but there is definitely something wrong when the same shipping company sends 2 boards out like this. The sellers both deny that it was them who was responsible for it, but I, in the long run, wind up receiving just broken goods. eBay's denying that they had anything to do with it. The sellers are denying they had anything to do with it. And finally, after you know, several, I mean, if we combine the 2 of these together, you know, a couple of months worth of you know, battles here on eBay, one of the customer service representatives obviously probably made a mistake here by telling me that the shipping company actually does this. Basically just told me that all of the things that I had been accusing the customers or the sellers of were actually my fault. That's not their fault. They didn't do anything wrong. So I sent back an email to eBay just explaining this, like literally saying I would like to confirm all of this that has been typed here, confirming that you are admitting that your shipping company is responsible for sending these broken boards, but when I confront you about the shipping and saying that the shipping goods are damaged, you tell me that it's my responsibility to talk with the sellers and that it's not your responsibility, but when in reality it really is. And eBay's not trying to lose any money. They would rather the 2 sellers, the seller and the buyer, hash it out, and when one decides to get tired and just give up, then they don't have to cut their losses and they don't have to pay for shipping. That is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. But it's just been clarified right here. So for those of you out there who are thinking about buying from US auctions or who are thinking about selling on US auctions, I'm not saying that US auctions are bad by any means, but what I am saying is that those of you who decide to buy or sell, double check, triple check, and make sure that you are 100% guaranteed not using PBI as a shipping company unless you want to be responsible for something like this happening. Not only to the things that you sell, but to the buyer who unexpectedly winds up getting these. I don't think any one of the shippers knows that PBI opens up the goods after they have you know, sent them out and packaged them, and then repackages them and inspects them and then sends them back out. I don't think anyone knows about this until now. So yeah, this is the main reason why I'm making this video. Like I said, I demanded that they not only apologize to me, I wanted an apology for both of the sellers, because this is, you know, I don't know if it is the seller's fault, if there's anything about the seller that needs to be brought up after finding out that the shipping company is the one who's responsible for this. You know, I just don't know what to say. But I recommend that those of you out there who are thinking about buying and selling on the US auctions, take caution when it comes to the global shipping program. There are some different things that are not laid out and probably in the guidelines, and they don't tell you these things right off the bat, so you have to kind of find them out the hard way. So more or less this is just a way of, I guess, kind of spreading the word, trying to help others out. But yeah. That's it. That's about enough of that. I guess we'll just have to see where this goes and what happens. But yeah, that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon. So thanks for watching.